Hey,
All right, and we're back. You
what's
guys know
going
how we
on?
like to kick it off, man. In order to take accountability for what has passed and what will be, there's no time like presently. So, for all of those with mouths and ears, can we have a moment of your time? We want to gain some perspective. Can we have a piece of your mind?
What's up?
What's going on, man? Welcome back, guys, man. It's been a beautiful week again.
hmm
Um, you know, or if I'm affirming it, every day gets better and better.
That's right. That's right.
Affirming that, like we talked about last week.
hmm
And yeah, I'm excited. Here we are again, man. Another Sunday. We made it. We made it through another week, man. That's an accomplishment all in itself. Survival is an accomplishment all in itself, man. Every time you get to reach back home, that's
Mm.
touching base, man. You know what? In baseball, every time you reach home, you know what that is, man. That's a point. Okay,
I like it, Frank.
that's a point,
I
man.
like
So you
that.
know what? If you guys made it back home, y'all made it through the day, man. Y'all made it through y'all week. You guys are earning points, man. You guys are winning. All right,
You
just look
did
up at the
something.
scoreboard.
That's it. That's it. That's cool, bro. I like that. That's a cool analogy, man. That's a great way to put that. Because you and I, we were talking, Frank, just last week, and I mentioned something about how I was constantly finding myself chasing a task, and then I'd return to center. And I kept doing that. And you had me kind of thinking in a better way, because I'm thinking about it as a bad thing, like, oh, I keep coming back. But you were like, no, it's, especially the way you just put that. That's a point. I'm returning home. I'm taking that knowledge I collected, bringing it back, applying it, and hitting the road again. And so
That's
that's a
it.
cool way, man. That's cool. All y'all out there, don't never beat yourself up, man. And we gotta
Give
stop doing
yourself
that.
that grace, man.
Yep. Yep.
It's important.
So shit, bro. What's up, man? How you been? So you said the week was good. You've been practicing affirmations, like
Let's see. What do we want to? Let's just go ahead and start with the podcast, right? The
yeah,
week.
yeah.
The week is it's been good. As far as like putting out the content goes, I, I didn't put out as much as I did the previous week.
hmm
I did get the opportunity to to remake the videos for the logo, but
hmm
I can't really say that I see much activity on there. And then throughout during the week, as me and Hector discussed, our next moves or whatever, we Hector kind of put it in my head like, you know what, maybe it don't really make sense to boost the logo the logo content when we got more views and feedback on some of the other videos we had. So we're we're just gonna go on. We're just gonna just cancel that idea to boost the logo post. We're gonna pick our winner. Are we announcing it today, Hector? I don't want to jump the gun.
I don't want to jump the gun either. I feel like we could. There's one that's like way out there. I mean, you know what I mean. We can do it on the fly. We can figure it out, yay or nay. I'm okay with it either way. But one of them certainly is seeming like it's the champion, man. It's hard to knock down the champion.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So, all and I'll save that from whenever Hector's ready. He'll be announcing the logo. But we pretty much got our winner there,
yep, yep,
and
yep.
we're moving on. we're
Yeah, that's it.
moving on with the podcast. Right now, we're just working on trying to get we want to be more fluent. We want to be able to like make Sunday our podcast day, and we handle everything on Sunday. I mean, we want
hmm
to learn how to schedule our content. We want to learn how to chop it up the same day, schedule it, write the descriptions, do it all on Sunday, so we don't have to worry about it the rest of the week.
Yep.
That way, we can focus more so on growth. You know what I mean? We
hmm
could strategize some other things that we want to implement and try in the podcast. You know what I mean?
And
Because
it's a lot.
it's a lot. It's a lot, man. And you only could do it week by week, day by day. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But I'm excited. I'm happy with the way the week turned out. I'm excited for a new week and trying to get a handle on this, just on our scheduling, so that we could operate a little smoother.
hmm
Yeah. What about you now, Heck?
Yeah,
What's going on? What's happening on yeah and with the podcast, man?
as far as the podcast, I gotta agree with you. I didn't really get out enough content, that made me feel like it was a full week for content production. But we did learn a lot of things this week as far as how to produce better quality content.
Oh yeah, Hector, I seen you over there, man.
Yeah, yo, the inspiration came from you, bro. Like it's cool, and I'm pretty sure all of y'all out there, if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, y'all probably seen the videos up there. And for a little while in the beginning, I was kind of just chopping up content. We were throwing them up raw, and then Frankie had the idea that we got to engage a little more. We got to make it a little bit more fun, a little more active. And so there were some videos that Frank edited with a little gifs that pop up, little audio tracks that'll pop in every now and then, kinds
Sound
of thing,
effects, all that good
sound
stuff.
effects,
Yeah.
all of it, all the good stuff. And so we've been able to kind of go ahead and take what we had, those raw videos, and then kind of add elements to them that make them a little bit more fun. Hopefully they make you guys smile a little bit wider or think a little deeper. And so that was the intent, and that's what we've learned. And so Frankie's been killing it. I've been practicing. I feel like I did okay on my first rendition.
No, it was good, man. It was good, bro.
Appreciate that. And so it's a learning curve because y'all, like Frankie and I said, man, our social media presence when we started this didn't exist, man. We wasn't about the social media. We didn't really do all that. So you think, 6 weeks in now, 6 episodes in. We've been doing this longer than 6 weeks, but 6 episodes now. We've been able to go ahead and take what we've learned from the previous week, and we really do homework on that stuff, y'all. We really take it in, and we look for new ways to apply. We look at the analytics. We're looking at what's probably the best hour of the day to go ahead and drop a video, and am I doing too much
that's
editing?
something we still need to figure out too.
Yep, we're still working on that. We're trying to figure out, if we're over editing or under editing, or if the raw clip is good, or for a sake of consistency, do we need to make it all cohesive? Should they all have the same this, the same that? It's a process, but it's a cool process because I'm able to kind of apply those things in more than just the podcast, which is nice. That's the best part about what we're doing here, is taking what we're learning here, what we're sharing. And something I'm going to actually time out real quick and go back to something Frankie has said last week. It was beautiful, man. But like sitting here, going back and seeing us talk on something and just hearing the thoughts come out, how articulate they come out, how deep the thought runs, and then being like, whoa, like I said that's pretty cool. And then kind of reframing, reminding ourselves that like, hey, these affirmations we give ourselves, that's a good way to give ourselves an affirmation, man. Looking back at it and feeling confident coming into the next week. Like I said that, like I said that shit. It feels good to do that.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you can re-pick up that energy, bro. You felt good in that moment when you said that, bro. You see yourself saying it, and you re-pick up the energy. Like, yeah, man. You know what? That's right. I did do that.
I did
that was a
do
small
that.
accomplishment, but I did that.
Yeah, and it feels good. It feels good to feel good, y'all. That's the whole point of this. That's why we do it.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, so get back on with it. So yeah, it's a learning process, and we like being able to kind of make that applicable to our business life, our personal life, our dreams that we're chasing, all these different things, and we're doing a lot of that right through this podcast alone. And I can't think of another person I would love to do this with, man. This is it. It's my accountability partner, y'all. It's my man. It's my brother, man. So being able to do this on here with him brings me peace every week, brings me joy. And this is a form of therapy, man. This is me being able to share and kind of learn a little bit about myself in the process. I might get asked questions. I get some feedback later on throughout the week after we post content. Someone will call and say, hey, I love that. Or, hey, maybe try this. I've had a couple just this week, different kind of critiques. And, so I have a degree in multimedia design and illustration. So basically graphic design.
That's why you did our logos.
Yeah. And you have to be real comfortable with critique, man, because it's a very big deal, big thing in my line of work. You have to be able to kind of know how to do something efficiently. But then you've got to be able to be like, yeah, I guess I didn't know that. So I will try to learn how to do it a new way. If someone comes at you with a way better than the way you're doing. So those critiques are important, and I love them. I take them all very well. So if someone's got something to say that, hey, they just had a glass of haterade and they're not feeling it, I still want to hear it. I still want to know why.
Hey, man, them trolls be having some quality things to say sometimes, man.
Absolutely, man. And that's the thing. Like,
What was it fabulous? He said every now and then a dumbass drops a clever turd.
I like that. It's true. And especially, in school, man, one of my professors kept saying it over and over. And at first, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. But by the time I graduated, it did. And he was just kind of referencing a turd, pick up a turd, man. You polish a piece of shit, it's still a piece of shit. So if you're gonna put your time and energy into something, man, make sure that you're really just kind of aware of what you're picking up and then how you put it down. It's important. But all this, love the podcast. We're constantly learning, we're constantly applying. And so yeah, as far as for me, I didn't get enough content out that I thought would feel good, but I still am getting that learning behind it all. So I still feel good about it, bro. I still feel really good about it. Like seeing the numbers, like seeing the feedback. That shit is incredible, man. It feels so good
Yeah,
to have that.
yeah, it is, man. You know what? I'm gonna grab two things you said out of what you was out of your talk just now. You talked about dreams
Mm-hmm.
and you talked about accountability, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got starting with those dreams, right? Last week we talked, and I mentioned possibly getting my son and his friend on this podcast to get them rolling. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Um, I've had conversations with my son, and he told me like he think it would be a dope idea for him to start a podcast. He have a friend that he likes. He feels he conversates with well, and he wants to learn how to share that. They have a lot of
Mm.
things that they don't know how to go about it, and then they they don't even have the setup or whatever. But I talked anyway. Long story short, I talked to him about it, about coming on the podcast, and both of them sound him and his the host that was gonna be with him. They sound excited about it. So
Mm.
before the end of the summer comes, I want to make that. I want to make part of I want to be part of that dream. Like you know what I mean.
Yep. Yep.
Like I said, I want to be part of that dream with my son. If like you said last week, we're gonna find out if this is what it is for him. You know what I mean? If he really wants this, we're gonna share with him. Um, we're gonna share with him what our experience to this point and see if he takes it and run with it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? I'm not a father of force. Like I prefer like when it comes to force, right? All the time and energy it takes to scream and yell to get somebody to do something for you, and the emotion, the energy it takes to even like be, you get annoyed. That takes energy too. You be annoyed all in your soul, like
Mm-hmm.
all that takes energy. By the time you get them to do something for you, you might as well have got up and did it yourself.
You're
You probably
right.
would have saved yourself a lot of stress. And that's my energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's who I am. Like I rather not. Like man, whatever. I'll do it myself.
Right.
you know.
I like
But
that.
I really want my kids to develop that about themselves is the just get up and go do it yourself, because anything you want in life, if there's dreams you're striving for, nobody's going to tell you to go do it. They're not going to tell you how to do it. Not, you know what I mean? You got to have a little gumption. Like you got to
Mm.
conjunction junction. You got to have a little gumption, bro. You got to be able to just go. So that's something I want to install in them. So I plan on, since we made it possible to, by starting a podcast, and I now created an opportunity for my son to gain some experience in a podcast, man, and I'm excited about it. So that's
Hell
going to
yeah.
be happening before the end of the summer. And then I don't know if I think it was also last week or the week before, but I mentioned Joy, somebody else that we know that wants to start a podcast. And she has a lot of things going on. I talked to her about it as well, about coming on the podcast. She thinks it's a good idea, and although we may have to do it, we might have to do that one on a different day than Sunday, but these are pre-recorded, so it's all good.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out. I also, and what else? I said dreams and
Accountability.
no, not ability. Accountability.
Accountability.
Right. So now on the accountability tip, right now, guys, I got my energy last day before yesterday. Me and Hector got on the call, my accountability partner here, and although we were supposed to be working on things related to the podcast, he decided to take a time out and like kind of just go through all of the things I've been working on, like what I'm calling laying down the foundation. Like people got to be able to find me in my digital storefront. And then in my digital storefront, I got to make sure I put up the signs for them to follow so that they can get to that book now button and hire
Yeah.
your boy. Okay. So those are the things I've been working on. And I actually didn't stop and get anybody to critique it, but Hector got on there. Hector just got on. He just started going through my page and just, you know, catching the spell checks, of course. And just him taking that action and wanting to go through my page, it got me really excited. It had me going. You know what I mean? So Hector went through the pages, and then he gave me some homework to do. Or we were supposed to work on it the following day, but I was so on go. I just started that same night. Like it just kept going. You know what I mean? So yo, guys, man, we're trying to be your accountability partners. But even if it's not us, we need you. Yo, go find your accountability partner, somebody that means you well. And when they critique you, they'll take it. They mean you well. They're not. You know what I mean? Um, but I want to share that as well. Just the dreams, because I'm excited to be part of my. I don't know what would happen with my son and his podcast. I didn't even know what would happen with me and mine. But I'm trying to install. It's not even about the dream so much. Just trying to install some gumption in them, man. You know what I mean? That's a spiritual move. Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to install some goal in my child. Because you know what? I'm guilty. I'm a parent guilty of this too. But for a long time, I've been spoiling my kids. You know what I mean? They do bare minimum and they get in the latest PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do.
Yeah.
They do the bare minimum. I mean, yo, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to knock nobody for getting good grades, but if that came easy to you, you didn't have to put in no extra work. Like, you know what I mean? You went to sleep, you woke up, you took a test, you got an A+. Like, that's cool. That's dope. That's dope. But what are you're not putting out any extra energy to like, to earn anything. And that's the habit we got to try to create in these kids. You have to output the energy to get what you want. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely reaching a phase in my life where it's like, I don't like little things that they can handle themselves. Like, actually, my son today, he actually had work at 5, and he didn't even wake up this morning to come with me to summer Sundays, which is working out at the park, guys. That's something I'm trying to do all summer, is working out at the park, summer Sundays. He didn't even get up for that. They both of them overslept. And I'm not a father of force. So like, you guys ain't getting up, fine, whatever. I'll go by myself. But I'm pretty sure if I didn't tell him this, I wasn't upset or nothing, but I was pretty sure if I didn't tell him, hey, how you plan on getting to work today? He probably would have just waited till the last minute. Hey, Dad, can you give me a ride? Bro, you got until 5 o'clock to figure out how you getting to and from work. I don't need to be part of that no more. You know what I mean? And when I am part of it, I want them to learn to take that and be appreciative of it. I'm taking time out of my day to make sure that you get to go to somewhere that you can get to by yourself anyway. You know what I'm saying? That habit of just doing it for them, like, and just getting it for them. Like, they got to learn how to do and get for themselves. Like, you know what I mean? When we're dead and gone, is your child gonna do and get for themselves, or have you been doing and getting for them their whole life? So they're gonna be lost. You know what I mean? So I'm really trying to like raise in a direction of independence.
I like that.
But
we call that mindfulness, right? Like we said,
trying to be a little more mindful, man.
Like we said a couple of weeks ago, man, mindful parenting. Also, like, it's pretty cool, and it's probably a common term, but I heard someone dear to me recently bring it up, and it's something called natural consequence. And I've been practicing that for a little while with my kid. Hey, you overslept. Well, that sucks because now you just lost out on that. Or, hey, you stayed up super late. So, that's kind of why you're tired. But, we have this thing we're doing tomorrow. So you're going to be there not 100% because you're tired. You're going to be cranky. And, well, that crankiness, man, you know, it's gonna be a wall right here. That crankiness is gonna hit you right back. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so I practice natural consequences with my
Natural
kids.
consequence. I never knew it as in those words, man. That's
Yep,
natural consequence.
natural consequence, man, and it's a good way to practice because, like you said, you're not a forceful parent. Neither am I. I don't really. It just, yeah. I
It
don't
takes a
want to do
lot of
that.
energy, bro.
It takes a lot,
It
man.
takes a lot of energy.
I don't like having my day disturbed too much, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not me.
Yo,
So
you allow that you allow that energy to take over you. Next thing you know, you aggravated all day. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
all day, and our time is precious, man. So yeah, so you know, it's a hard one to do though because for natural consequence to work, you got to kind of know when it's going to work. You got to be with a little bit of foresight, if you will. You got to kind of know, okay, well, they didn't do this, so they're going to react like this, and then this will happen. You got to kind of plan it out. You know, it's a game of chess, and it's not really a game. You know, apologies for using that, but at the same time, you know, we're trying to teach them something in the long run. So we got to do the moves now for something that'll occur later.
Yeah.
So that's the reason for that analogy. But being mindful parents, man.
Hey
Yeah,
man, I'm
you know,
okay with calling it a game, man. Like from what I hear, life is a game, man.
life.
And if
That's
you
what they say,
depending on
right?
how you playing it, that's where you land.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or at
Yeah.
least that's where you stay. It don't matter where you landed, where you came from, where you landed. You could have landed in I think you hear stories about people who landed in poverty and
Mm-hmm.
became rich. You see people that landed in richness and they killed themselves. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? Or they didn't, they couldn't keep the riches.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you hear it all the time. So yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's a good analogy for sure. Just me being hard on me, you know, being mindful.
uh,
But yeah, so I think what you're doing, bro, is a cool thing, you know, because you've already introduced the idea, you know, your Sundays for that
yeah.
purpose, and
Yeah,
it's
and
in their mind.
I told it to them so that they know this is what I want, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I try to set like an expectation. I don't yo these dudes don't do nothing for real. Like you know what I mean? Like they don't even really own a chore. Like they'll do it
Mm-hmm.
if hey, can you go do that? Can you go do this? Which is
Yep.
kind of
Yep.
annoying too. But they don't really do nothing for real. So like if I allow you to sit in the house all day, like and I can't even get you to like stick to your word and meet me at the park. And this is to me this is for your own benefit.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little quality time with me. You know what I mean? I took it as quality time, which which I actually also took as an opportunity since they didn't come when I got home and they was up. I took it as an opportunity to reiterate on the 5 love languages with them.
Mm.
And again, this wasn't out of anger. I wasn't upset. Like it's just I'm just trying to make them more aware that hey, look, I requested some quality time with you guys. You guys ignored that. In a sense. I mean, it's only a situation, but in a sense, that's ignoring the love that
Mm.
I was trying to give. So now
And
my love tank, my
and
love
receive.
and receive, and now my love tank ain't. It can never be empty on you guys, but it ain't all the way full. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yep. Yep.
can you get a ride later? What? you know.
It's true. No, it's true. And you know, some people might disagree. Oh yeah, you got to do for them no matter what. But at the same time, like we are doing for them, we're teaching them, right? We're showing
Yeah,
them. You got
trying
to.
to.
We go back to accountability, bro. That's something we work on big here. You got to be accountable for your own actions, for your own reactions.
You got.
Um,
I feel like it's important to teach them in the way that speaks truest to your nature. You know what I mean?
yes. Yep. Yep.
I came from a family that yells and scream. You know what I mean? You know what I mean when they want you to do something. I had that all my life. I don't know if that was their true nature. You know what I'm saying? But I see that their energy was always up here. When you know what I mean, their energy was always up. I know I didn't want to be there. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yep.
So I don't do that. like
That's good, bro. I feel yo. I feel like how we just touched on all that, Frank. I feel like today's topic, yeah, I feel like it's a good point to kind of blend it in now, bro. Because
yeah,
we were talking about dreams, we're talking about accountability, um, you know, we're talking about mindfulness, and then some of that natural consequence, that action, you know, what requires an actionable response kind of thing. Um, and so moving that kind of towards topic a little, at least what we had discussed was how many times you guys find yourself in the shower, right? And you have a thought, something hits you, and then you reflect on it and you dive deep and you go hard in the paint on this thought. You execute, you conceptualize, you're thinking, you're visualizing, you're starting with nothing and you see it all the way through the end. And the moment you open up that curtain, that shower curtain, gone. That shower thought, bye, stays in the shower. Maybe not even comes back next time. So, how many of us actually, unfortunately, do that? How many of us actually take that shower thought past that threshold, past the doorway, past the getting ready in the morning, brushing your teeth, all that,
Yeah, I can tell you, I'm guilty of a little bit of both, man. Keeping them and losing them.
Yeah, so am
Right.
I. So am I. And I thought to myself, again, this morning, shower thought, I'm thinking, man, it makes me sad because I have had so many incredible ideas that I never carried out because I wasn't feeling good. I had my energy drained. My love tank wasn't full enough, or, I started beating myself up about something, or I don't know, whatever, anything. Lots of shit can get in the way. We all know that when the shit hits the fan, it's a big mess, man. But when you do take that thought and you allow yourself to execute that thought beyond the realm in which it existed right there in that shower, how good do you feel afterwards? You feel accomplished in a sense, right? Because you took a thought and you put it down on paper in the digital realm. You did something with it. Whatever it was, you did something with it. So just for a very quick example, as I had mentioned, having that conversation with my brothers about the kind of executing some of that AI tools and using them to my benefit. I'm still in the play stage. I'm still playing with it. I haven't really made it applicable yet in 100% terms and to what I want with my dreams, but I'm playing with it. I'm getting better at it. And I'm really learning how to apply it, learning how to
That's right.
streamline.
You got
You
to
know what I'm
keep
saying?
you got to keep playing with it, man.
Gotta
Repetition is
play.
the mother of how it go?
So the one I,
Repetition is the mother of I can't remember it right now.
as far as repetition goes, repetition for me breeds recognition. So
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, so you keep repeating it, you'll be recognized. So anyway, I keep playing with this tool, man, and I'm learning, like I said, streamlining. And so one of my shower thoughts, I had something pop up, and I'm thinking, man, that would be something beautiful to see. That would be cool to visualize a way to see that exist. And I did it. I tried it. Looked great. And so at some point maybe I'll share that here with y'all soon, give y'all a little idea of what that thing was so you can visually see like, wow. Yeah, that's and then another example, I'm in, I love music. I love content that's rich, um, enriching to the soul. It kind of gives me like a platform to feel good to stand on, kind of thing. And so I remember I was in the shower one day and I thought of a poem, just kind of like Frank, that spoken word. And then I wrote it down. I was like, why not? I recited it in my head. I found something cool and I happened to remember some of the better bits. I wrote it down and then I looked at it, I read through it, and I was like, cool, shower thought right here in front of me, man. I like that because it's not just in the shower no more. It's right here in my hand now.
Yeah.
Um, and so, we were talking about dreams and accountability, man. A lot of us live our dreams in the shower because that's the place where we're alone, but at peace. We take the shower to cleanse our temple, right? We get in there to feel good, clean ourselves, get right, get ready for the day that's coming, get ready for something. We typically take showers because our ass stink or we want to get in there and feel good about what we're getting into, right? So in the shower, man, we are pure, kind of thing. We're feeling really good about something. Um, and that's a place where we could go to cry alone. That's a place where we go to collect ourselves. But we never allow our thoughts too much so to come out of that. And like I said, shower thought just this morning, I'm thinking about just shower thoughts. And I'm just like, wow, I want to do that more. I want to hold myself accountable to do that more. So if I find myself thinking of something deep, I want to get out and write it down and then bring it to my accountability partner and share that with him. Let's chop it up. Hey, what do you think about this? Is this worthy enough to be spoken on the episode? Can we have a conversation, and can you just enlighten me on your perspective for it? Because we're gonna go back to that. Frankie, I'm gonna let you pick this one up, but you had said something to me earlier that you wanted to remind everybody of what we
Oh
do
yeah,
here,
yeah.
and I feel like now's a good time to say that. So,
Okay,
piece
so
of your mind.
peace of your mind, guys. This is a podcast. This is a podcast, a platform for accountability, right? You get, this is an experience. You guys get to sit in on two actual accountability partners. We're looking to be your accountability partners as well, in self growth learning and just getting other concepts and gaining perspective. That's the other thing this podcast is about. It's about gaining perspective. We feel that if you can make an open mind bigger with more perspective, getting the same subject or topic from somebody else's view. You know what I mean? Because we only can see life through the eyes that we have. You know what I mean? So I can't read my own body language unless there's a mirror. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I have my accountability partner here to tell me what my body language look like, man, and I just gotta trust him. You know what I mean? Because I know he means me well, and the same thing vice versa. So that's what this platform is for, man. And we want to help somebody grow as we grow.
That's right. And so, yeah, all of y'all, everybody out there, new, um, those have been hanging with us since day one. We appreciate y'all.
Appreciate
Um,
y'all.
yeah, a piece of your mind, So Frankie and I have the opportunity and the blessing to get on here and share a piece of our mind with one another, and I get to grow because of his input. The knowledge he gives me allows me to think about it in a whole new way, and so that's what we want to provide here to all of you out there, old, new. Listen, man, a piece of perspective is so valuable, and it don't matter where it come from, because only we get to really determine how we want to apply that knowledge we gain. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? And if it's
Eat the meat and
applicable,
spit out the bones.
that's it. Just eat the meat, spit out the bones. That's all you got to do, and that's okay to do with every meal, man. It's something that, hey, free advice, or advice that comes at $1,000 a pop. You pick and choose what you want from this life. But man, listen, I've been hungry before, so if somebody's coming at me with something, I'm gonna listen, I'm gonna take it, and then I'll apply it if I can find a way to apply it. I certainly will. And so hopefully you guys do the same, man. We just kind of want to remind y'all, piece of your mind is a piece of our mind and a piece of yours. So if you're wanting to hear something like a certain topic, you want to hear something get dissected, we have a lot of segments coming up. Like Frankie's got a good one. I won't go into it, but it's covering written information. And if you guys want to hear something specifically spoken about, please let us know. Frankie and I will do some research. We'll find out how it's applicable to the podcast, to our personal lives, to our business, and then we'll talk about it with you guys.
That's right. We'll
We'll
chop it
share it
up
with the
over here,
world.
man. Maybe even gain some more perspective.
Exactly, because Frankie said it, man. Best our two eyes. That's all we got. So why not find an opportunity and being able to see it from more? And you guys are going to hear me say this. You probably heard me say it already. You'll probably hear me say it a whole hell of a lot more. But the way I measure intelligence is not by how many books you read, not how many degrees you got. A measure of intelligence for me is how you can say one thing in many different ways. So, can you talk to Ivy League? Can you talk to the middle class? Can you talk to someone who's ready to jump off the edge of the cliff and be done? That to me is a measure of intelligence. It's how many ways
That
you can
sounds that
say,
sounds genius to me, man.
dude, it's so necessary. And you know what? And to explain and elaborate that a little further, think about our children, man. Like, we had mentioned in a couple of weeks ago in one of our episodes, when our children are trying to give us something, when they're trying to talk to us, they don't really know how to deliver that in too many ways, man, because they're still young.
The
So it's our
experience.
right, the experience behind what they're trying to say. So it's our duty to get on that frequency, on that level, and take it, and then help them learn how to redistribute that same thing so that other people can hear that message. Because there's something good to be said in a whole lot of shit, man. And it just like Frankie said again, man, the meat and the bones, y'all. You got to pick what's the meat, what's the bones, and just discard what you don't need. And here's the thing: even the bones can be turned into bone meal, y'all, and help grow something else. So it's good to have that yin and that yang, right? That balance. So peace of your mind, y'all.
Yeah, man.
That's where we
Let,
at.
let's get back on this shower talk, man, and chop this up a little bit because I
Yeah,
got something to say. All right.
yeah, yo, pick it up, bro. So yeah, shower thoughts, Frank, man. Where so
So
I explained that it's a thought process. You feel pure. I've given a couple of examples where in which I applied it, kind of thing.
work.
And so, hey, work. I
Got
like
some work.
that. Yes, yes. That's what's up. That's what's up. So where have you had a shower thought fail you, or a shower thought help you elevate? Um,
um, a shower thought fail me. I mean, I think it's a fail anytime I don't keep it.
mm,
That's a fail. So and that was plenty and plenty. That was plenty times that I lost my shower thoughts. It wasn't until more recently where I really started like trying to hold on to some of them. You
mhm,
know what I mean? Especially since venturing off into entrepreneurship. I would say like my shower thoughts I probably used to kind of borderline ignore them. Like you know
mm,
what I mean? I used to like, hey, that's a good idea, but I didn't think much of them because at the end of the shower it's time to go punch in to work or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Whatever else,
yep,
whatever the hell. But um, more recently, man, I do want to share this. One good way to keep your shower thoughts right is to actually talk about them out loud while you're in the shower. I know that sounds a little
yep.
crazy, but like, yo, have the
Not at
conversation
all.
with yourself, man. Have the I be like Hector say, it's your sacred place. It's just you in there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And some people like to sing in the shower. You know what I mean? It feels so good. You know what I mean? If you could sing in the shower, you could talk to yourself in the shower. Like, you know
Hell
what I mean?
yeah.
There's no big deal. Just put that idea out of yours out loud. Hear yourself say it. If it sounds funny, laugh at it. Like, you know
Hmm.
what I mean? Um, but yeah, shower thoughts, man. One of my favorite ways to keep records. I'm not. Wow. I do a little bit of journaling. I sometimes I'll whip it out on my phone and write the notes in my phone. But my absolute favorite way is actually recording myself. It's just like they have this, the record app on the phones or whatever, and I go to it and I just talk my idea out. I get out and I re-listen to it. Like, yeah, that was a good idea. If it
Yep,
wasn't so good, then I'm gonna delete that. You know what I
yep.
mean? Either grow on it or delete it.
Hmm.
But it's
I
power
like
in
that.
getting them out. That's for sure, man. It's power in putting them down. You know what I mean? Um, and a lot of the different religions and a lot of things that you learn and read, they tell you in so many different ways, write it out and make it plain. Like, you know what I mean? If you guys, if in other words, if there's something we're striving for, if there's an idea in our head, get it out of our head and onto a piece of paper. Get it out of our head and on video. Get it out of our head and record it. Like, you know what I mean? You can't
Yep.
grow on a thought that's in here. It's just gonna be the same thought that keeps coming up about. It's not until you put it down on paper you be like, you know what, that is a good idea, but you know what? Let me write this in here. That's this will make the idea even better. This will make it more tangible.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But
And to add to that, we talked about in one of our previous episodes, the benefits of having that pro and con list, right? You got the benefits to it, you got the bad things. Up here, that shit's like Frankie just said, it's spinning in circles, y'all. So you're not gonna know all the goods and bads that come with it until you actually begin to execute. Because that's when the trial and error starts. Oh
yeah,
shit, I didn't think about that, and now this happened. Or ooh, I was on point with that, and that opened up this door and this opportunity, and I had no idea that that was possible. So you have to put that thought down to really know what can come of it or not. Because living up here, it stays up there. It hell, does it even live?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of in that perpetual state of it exists, but is it alive? And so can't know until you put it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
What else, man?
so let's get back with getting your son up here, man. So I'm just curious about that. So because my favorite episode so far was when we had Brian up here, our other brother, and that felt good to me, man. I felt it inspired me, had me in a go mode. It had me just
Same energy I want to put into my son. Go ahead.
yep, yep. That's exactly it. And so I think that opportunity, man, for him would be incredible because it's an experience to show a bunch of different things. He's got a parent that's listening to him, not just hearing him, but listening, really understanding that, hey, there's something I want to do. He might have talked about it once or twice and then didn't say nothing. And it's stuck with Frank. It's stuck in his mind. And, like how we were just talking about, you don't know until you try kind of thing. That might have been a shower thought for him, right? But here we are being accountable, being mindful. And now we're not being forceful parents, but we are going to kind of push it a little bit like, hey, check this out and let him experience. And through that experience, he'll be able to kind of determine, damn, I do like that. That did feel good. I want to continue to do that. So we have the opportunity to kind of instill this thing early on for him.
Yeah,
Cause shit.
even deeper than that, Hector. He could go back and play the tapes. He could go watch himself
Mm-hmm.
and see how he looked and his own body language. Did
Yep.
he enjoy the topics he brought up? Did he like the way he answered the questions? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hell
And
yeah.
I'm actually really excited to have him on too, Hector. Man, you know what's funny is I feel like both of my boys are just like me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like sometimes I just like they're just two different sides of me. Like you know what I mean? Because them two be seeming like night and day sometimes for real. You know what I mean?
Right.
I got one that's like the younger one's like this more outgo. He has like this more outgoing thing with him, and I feel like that's partially me. Like you know what I mean? I can talk to people. You know what I mean? I like to engage, but I also could be very reserved.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I feel like my introverted behaviors really stem through from our where we grew up or whatever. But I've become accustomed of some of those ways, right? And that my
Mm-hmm.
younger son, he's like that. I mean, my older son's like that. He's reserved and he's watching even when you think he's not watching. He's listening even when you think he's not listening. Like you know what I mean? And I've had a few talks with him, and some of that stuff, like even some of the talks I had with him stuck. He reiterated one of the conversations I had with him yesterday in the car. So I'm actually really excited to get him on. I feel like my son has a bright, good head on his shoulder. I like his friend. I like his friend too, and his friend's energy. I feel like overall they're both good. They're good. They're already good people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now I just want to help them become their greatest self.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I
That's
mean? The
our
greatest
job, right,
version.
Frank? We gotta we
Huh? He
gotta
just
help
started. He just
we gotta
started
help these
working.
boys.
Huh?
We gotta help these boys and we gotta refine them into good men kind of thing. That's our job.
Yeah, that's
And
our job.
so
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
So I
So
feel like getting him up on here, man. I'm excited. I feel like that's gonna be my new favorite episode. It didn't even happen yet.
word,
So just
calling
let him
it.
just let him know, man. Just we're ready for it. We're ready for him. When he's ready for it, let's make the magic happen, right? Take that
Yeah,
shower thought and turn it into something. Because he deserves it. Shit. We
deserve it.
didn't
Yeah,
know what we was getting into doing this podcast. And I feel not only did I need it, this came at such a critical point in my life to help me kind of define who I want to be, but I get to also show my son, hey, you put in a little effort and you can make a lot happen. So when you put all of you into something, man, that's a power move if ever one, man.
word.
When you trust the process and you put in effort, you make shit happen, you start turning the gears. There's not much you can't do. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like, yeah, like just kind of taking everything we talked about in a sense, with natural consequences, with chasing dreams and being accountable, taking our shower thoughts and putting them down, man. There's a lot of shit that comes through effort, man. You put in some effort, it gets recognized. Um, and most of all, the best part about what this podcast has given is not only has, at least for me, Frank, not only has it given me the opportunity to reconnect with some people that I haven't had, connection with in a little while. It's allowed the people in my circle to see me in a different light because they hear me. We shoot the shit all the time, but then they get
Yeah,
to see me because lots of time where it's on the phone, or it's over the video game, or and every now and then it's randomly we'll be able to get together and hang out, but not too frequently, unfortunately. So now that they get to see us and they're like, shit, like that's cool that you're doing something. It's
yeah,
inspiring to them too. Um, and so that's kind of what I was hoping that this podcast would do. And I'm beside myself, man. I can't believe that it's actually doing that because this is what I wanted it to do. And I had
yeah.
no clue what it was all going to take. And it doesn't take much because I love doing this shit. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. I agree, man. I enjoy doing this as well, man. And like Hector was saying, man, we really do want to just like kind of like spread our joy a little bit. You know what I mean?
mm,
That's what all the little clips on social media is about, guys. So please make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Show some support. And we just want to be, we just want to be in your feed a little bit. You don't even if you're not coming to watch the whole video, maybe you catch some little inspiring clips, a little just a maybe seeing Hector smile or seeing my smile give you a little more reason to smile. Hopefully, you know what I mean. We're doing little things right now. We're making little moves to try to create a little more impact
mm,
on the people we have the pleasure of meeting for the day, or the people that we have the pleasure of gaining their attention for a moment as they watch the 1 minute video or whatever whatever is going on. Um, you know, back to my kids in the podcast though, like or back to podcasting. Period.
mm,
I'm excited about what the opportunity that this is creating for me, guys. Let me share with you something, right? So again, this is not something I thought of forward prior to getting on the podcast, but now getting on the podcast, right? I'm realizing like, yo, listen, my kids don't ever have to watch me on this podcast, right? They could completely ignore that I'm making episodes, and that's fine, right? But I really get to come up here and speak my truth. I really get to come up here and tell you how I really feel, right? And I'm realizing now, like, hey, there's a lot of people who leave this earth at some point, and they don't leave too much of anything behind. Like, you got some pictures, you got some, but they don't, those pictures and stuff only could tell you about somebody, but so much. But I'm up here on video and I'm recording, right? So now I could look right in the screen and I could say, "Hey, Ja, if you're missing me and you're watching this, hey Dylan, if you're missing me and you're watching this, man, what y'all doing? I told y'all to be movers and shakers. What y'all sitting
mm-hmm.
down here watching me for? You know what I mean?
I
I'm
love
already
it.
up here, man. I'm already in here. You ain't got to sit here and watch me. Better be
Yep.
moving and shaking, man.
That's it. And like,
You know?
yo, I'm gonna go ahead and take a note, and I'm gonna do it too, Frank. Aiden, yo, keep your head up and keep moving, man. Head up,
That's
feet
it.
moving, always. Always
That's
look
right.
ahead. Don't look behind. Shit, there's more we can do if we try.
That's right.
So,
After
yeah,
you done
man,
being sad, man, go put a smile on your face and make somebody else smile, man.
that's it.
And
That's
mean and
yo,
mean it.
like you said, bro. That smile. If Frankie's smiling, if I'm smiling, and somebody else out there smiling, it's contagious, man. And again, yo, it feels good to feel good. So you owe that to yourselves, man, to have that, to feel good. And if you got a lot to spare, then give that shit because the world needs it, man. There's
They
so
need
much
it for
shit
real.
that yo, oof, that's a whole topic right there, bro.
Yeah,
But the world needs to heal, and yo, what better way to heal it than its inhabitants taking care of it and its people? So just help somebody feel good, man. But prioritize yourself, because when you got it, you can give it easily. It comes naturally. So it's
I
critical,
agree,
man.
I agree.
So
100%, bro.
that's it. So I'm gonna just throw like, yo, we've been talking about segments, right? We've been talking about having little things to talk about here and there, and one of them that just will not leave my brain alone. It just keeps going on and on. So I want to throw it out there just to get it out and get it going, right? That shower thought thing. Tr- Truthfully, and maybe in a very cocky, selfish manner, I have probably spit some of the most incredible hip hop bars and verses in the shower. You feel me? They never come to fruition, but I do know that some of those thoughts were influenced by different moments, different pivotal things in my life that kind of made me open my mind to some of that shit. And so, I've always wanted to have a segment on here where we talked about music, not necessarily just hip hop, but music in general, like, a favorite art. And I told y'all, my favorite artist is Nas. I'm all about the content, man. I'm loving the message. And that's just something I was thinking about earlier this week. Because, he put out an album a little while back ago, and it's called King's Disease. Man, one of the greatest fucking albums ever, just hearing that shit. And, just kind of thinking about, like, okay, these artists out here nowadays, they're talking about whatever the hell, they're whatever the hell they can to get a sale. And fear and violence, at least here in America, they sell that. I'm not with it, but a lot of people are. And so anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk, a segment coming up, just kind of introduce you guys to the idea. It's just music, and kind of guide it towards more like how it affected you, how it impacted you, how a single song opened up your mind in ways that it was not before. I mean, we're talking about putting the key in and turning the lock kind of shit, like something opened. And just to give it a quick example, bro, I'm gonna just give real fast, and then we'll let it marinate with the audience, with the crowd, and with us. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe we could pick it up back in a couple of weeks. But I remember, growing up in Bridgeport, Connecticut, bro. All it was hip hop and R&B. You know what I'm saying? That's all we had. Um, and we listened to like Hot 97 because we was right there next to New York, so we picked that shit up clear. That was it, man. You
Yeah,
wasn't cool if you
97.
wasn't listening.
Every day, that's my word.
Like, yo, Diddy said it. I want to be on your Hot 97 every
Every
day.
day,
That's my
that's my
word.
word.
And for real, like, that was the thing. We wanted to hear that every day. And then, just kind of growing up and hearing all the different artists. We had Pac, we had Biggie, we had Nas, we had Jay-Z, we had Dipset, we had D Block, we had all these like very aggressive. And then high school, 50 blew up, and Eminem and Dre and all that, yo. And I remember seeing, can't remember right now if it was like the Late Show, or Jimmy, one of those guys, one of those late night shows. And I remember that Senator Elizabeth Warren and 50 Cent was up there. And I had to watch it, bro. I love 50. You know what I'm saying? I love 50, man. That's my guy. But there was a question that says something about, like, if you could go back kind of and change one thing or fix one thing, what would that be? And 50 said something about changing his aggressive aura. And I was like, yo, that's how you made your riches, selling that aggressive aura. But that's the thing you would change. And that, to me, just like, I was just like, oh shit. Like, to hear somebody say that, to everybody in the world watching, I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, man. Like, if someone could come along that far in their career selling that kind of thing and then have a whole different change of heart, that's cool. That's something that shows that what we're capable of, that change. And that's kind of what this, again, I wanted to kind of reiterate this segment. What's something that, musically aligned, that changed you, that opened your mind, that introduced you to a whole new world of possibility? I'm gonna give an example. I had a friend growing up in the towers. His name was Rodney Johnson.
Rodney.
Rodney, big
Remember
shout out to the
Rodney?
homie. I'll tag you in this one, bro. But yeah, it was just all hip hop. Just if it wasn't hip hop, I didn't give a shit. And then he introduced me to Linkin Park, and that was the turnkey for me because you have this alternative rock, punk, and then hip hop element. Like whoa, you can do that? That's allowed? Opened my brain, bro. Opened it wide open. And then, yo, not too long after, Jay-Z went and did a song with them. And I was just like, oh shit. Like I got introduced to something that I didn't know was cool until someone else showed me that perspective, y'all. And that shit changed everything for me. So hip hop no longer became like, yeah, this cool, I'm with it. I know what's trending. Nah, man, it became more about the content, what the hell they're talking about, how I can apply that to my daily life. Because, like Frankie was saying earlier, we get in the shower and sing. So why not talk to ourselves in the shower? Why not let that thought manifest a little further? And so that's what this is. So I'm gonna ask Frankie the question, man, and maybe you guys are at home listening. Hey, maybe you'll let us know, kind of thing. Let this segment kind of grow, and this will be one of many. Um, but Frank, turnkey. What's something that you say that might have changed it for you, bro? What opened your mind, your soul? What unlocked you, if something at
um,
all?
you know, I feel like I always had a good sense of like, to me, for me, music was music. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? That's how I seen it. So it's like I didn't take everything I heard and like lock it in the same way I guess maybe some other people may have that. And I listened to a heavy mix of R&B when I was younger, man. So like when I was in the mood to get hyped up or something like that, I'll turn on the hip hop. If I was in the mood to be play down, um, it'll be R&B. But since getting older, like I mean, I guess even back in the day, I actually also had a lot of the old '80s music, and because the
Mm-hmm.
stuff my parents grew up on,
Mm-hmm.
I used to hear that a lot too. So I used to, when I wanted to go into shift into a good mood, I'll throw that on. That always puts me in a good mood, you know. And just nowadays, honestly, is what really gets my spirits bubbling is actually soca. It's actually far from hip hop, man.
Okay.
It's soca, man. Which is funny because you would have thought I would have known something about these things because I have Caribbean blood in me, and but where my family from, they listen to a lot of calypso. They listen to a lot
Okay.
of calypso, but I love the soca. I love the new Afro beats. I like that as well. I love reggae.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of I had a few escape from hip hop. So um, but I mean, as far as my favorite hip hop artists, like the people that really stuck with me and resonated with me would be the ones that didn't just sing about or rap about just the violence and the guns and the killing. Like my favorite ones would be like of this era. Some of my favorite ones would be like J. Cole
Mm-hmm.
and Kendrick Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of some alternative rappers and stuff like that that spit positivity. I can't say I followed all of them too much. There's actually some new hip hop artists. They're not mainstream. They're not the ones
Yep.
that's getting the most play, but there's actually some really dope like artists, and they're not all about that shoot 'em up bang bang
Yep.
stuff. But that's kind of that's dope too, man. I think the evolution is kind of dope. You know what I mean? Just the attention ain't so much, but the
Yeah.
evolution is definitely dope.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that. And like I said, man, maybe a segment moving on in the future, we'll take 5-10 minutes of it, and just kind of chop it up. If I hear something, so there's this thing, and I've shared it with a few people, but I have this thing I like to do with like Kate or with like some other friends of mine's, and we'll do this thing called a musical journey. And it started with a friend of mine, Kevin, and he really liked that funky shit, man. That funky music. And at first I was just like,
Funky like Rick James? Funky?
funky, yeah, like funky, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, he was about it, man. He had a style that just, but then he would find that new age shit, that current stuff that's still funky, and it's just like, wow, like people still make that. That's dope.
Yeah.
Because like you were saying, that's the kind of shit that doesn't get a whole lot of radio play. That doesn't get this. You got to go looking for it. It ain't gonna come find you, kind of thing. Um, and so having that musical journey, I can share some of the best elements of the music I've heard with him, and he'll share the same. And then we ascend this ladder, that journey. We kind of open our minds to new sounds, to new things. And I've had the opportunity to do that with a bunch of friends. Lately, I do that with my lady all the time. I do that with Kate all the time. We share our musical journey. Um, and even with my son, man. I might have mentioned this, I'm not sure, but yo, I heard my son listening to some old school Kanye, bro. And I'm like, after like 2008, you could cut it off. Yeah. but yo, prior to, man, Kanye was incredible, bro. The music, the whole Rockefeller family with Jay, there was some content there, man. It was dope.
Yeah.
So to hear him listen to that, and then a few weeks prior, hearing him turn up the radio, or not the radio, but his stereo real loud to play some Linkin Park. And I'm thinking, oh shit. Like, yo, this kid is just, made me proud, bro. Made me a proud daddy. Cause I'm like, man, my son is listening to content.
Yeah.
And that's something I promote a lot in my home. Cause again, the content we consume is food for thought. It's important to really take in good shit. So that we can put ourselves in a really healthy mindset to give. And so all of that, what we do, we set the foundation for our kids, man. And so, just, hey, Frank, big shout out to you, bro, for seeing and recognizing something that your son wants and then getting ready to put him on and be excited about it. Because he's going to learn a lot from that. And like I said, it's my favorite episode already. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And I hope all of y'all out there tune in for it too, man. But yeah, anyway, playing with the music segment, we'll carry that a little further. And yo, I mean, already an hour gone, just like that again. It's just in and out, man. It's crazy how quick it happens, bro.
Word.
Shit.
Word. You
So
gonna go ahead and close this out then, Heck?
I'll close this out, man. If you ain't got nothing else to say, brother, we'll pick it up on the next week. So everybody, all y'all out there, again, thank you. But for all those who came through and gave us a piece of your time, we'll see you next week on a piece of your mind. Much love.
One love.